So I would say that, in conclusion, more than anything, I think we have to begin a process in using these new mass media to communicate with each other, to have a constant dialogue between Muslim imams and Christian priests and Jewish rabbis on the internet, discussing how they interpret both the ancient Bible and what they do agree on, as well as what they disagree on. Because reality is not a fixed point in time and space, but depends entirely on the trajectory from which you are perceiving it. And yet we are all going through time, and we are all going through this reality, all of us together, and we cannot possibly be with different gods and different realities. We are obviously all on the same planet at the same time, and we must begin to have a cohesive consciousness of what reality is, and that is more important than anything. And yet it is being ignored. It's being treated as though it's just another little message or a little bit of entertainment for today or tomorrow. I would say that the most important thing that I found that's interesting is the creation of America itself, which is a baby compared to Europe, where I'm sitting right now at the Cannes Film Festival. It has, however, become a dominant force in mass media and in mass communication. And it's interesting to note that the country itself apparently knew that it would become a titan. In 1776, it was merely 13 colonies and 1/4 the size of what it is now. But if we look at the back of the $1 bill, we see that in effect this country perceived itself as a major force in the future. Over here we see the pyramid, the symbol of ancient Egypt, the first great empire, or as we call it, the cradle of civilization. And the pyramid, ironically enough, is a tomb. It is a tomb that the pharaohs took all of their gold and slaves into and were buried in alive, some of them, because they felt that you can take it with you into the world to come. So we see the symbol of Egypt. Above it in Latin, Annuit Septus, it's written, God has accepted our undertaking. Beneath it, the New World Order in Latin. And at the bottom rung of the pyramid, in Roman numerals, 1776. So this symbol refers to the two great Western empires, the ancient Egyptian Empire and the Roman Empire, and America identifies itself with these empires, as though we will be the next great empire. To the left, we have the eagle, which is again a Roman symbol, and a shield hanging in midair, meaning we are independent of anyone else and are not dependent for protection on anyone else. And above it is the Star of David, which is the symbol of the Hebrews, and 13 stars, which is the symbol of 13 colonies that existed at that time. So if we follow this back of this $1 bill, which is, in essence is the pinnacle of materiality, it is after all a dollar bill, it is actually a spiritual statement. And it is the exact spiritual statement of the first commandment of the Hebrews, which is, I am the Lord your God who took you out of Egypt. And we have the symbol of Egypt here, who destroyed your temple, and the Romans' second exile, all of which was prophesied. And you will be brought back on the wings of eagles at the end of time. And in the middle, in case it is not clear who we are talking about, we are talking about the one God. And above it, in God we trust. So it seems to be like a little history of the first commandment and a little history of Western civilization, all in one little bill. And it is actually a crime to destroy this bill. You can burn the American flag and not be arrested. However, if you burn a $1 bill anywhere in the world, you can and will be arrested, because that really does not belong to you. This is merely a symbol that the U.S. Treasury will pay you back if you present this. I bring this up because there are many forces at work and have been for quite some time in history, and virtually every American president was a Freemason, and most of these are Freemason symbols. And obviously they were aware that somehow this little country, which was, barely surviving, thought it would become a great empire. And it had the foresight to make a $1 bill in back of it for telling all that. Where we are today, I believe, is exactly what this $1 bill was speaking of, which is we are in a period where you can go anywhere in the world, present the value of $1, and you will be accepted and will be taken in as a real thing, even though all it is a numerical representation with codes and numbers at the back of it. So in many ways the world is unified as never before because of mathematics and the acceptance of the $1 bill, not so much the one God, however, and the acceptance of the idea that you have a value, even though obviously this is a piece of paper which intrinsically has no value. However, intrinsically, we humanity have really lost our value. We have lost our way as to what we value, what is important about being human. And I think we have to come back and begin to understand what makes us human. And what the Messiah Complex is about is not only making a movie, it is about beginning the process of a complex by putting on the internet 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, discussions about what is reality. Who is God? What is God? Is there a God? And if so, what does all of that mean, and why can we not know it so many thousands of years into our existence? Furthermore, we have to begin a dialogue between all of the major religions and ideas of right and wrong, because I don't think we are that different. What is holding us apart is the various languages and trajectories to which we come to this idea. And it is vital because we now have the means to destroy ourselves in a matter of minutes. We all know that Iran, Pakistan, Israel, all these countries either already have the capacity to destroy themselves and each other, or will very soon have. And they are all emotionally deeply embedded in their perception of reality and are willing to die and kill for it. So although with the invention of the Gutenberg press we had mass murder and torture, we did not have the capacity to wipe out all of civilization as we do now when we get into a real fight. So we cannot get into a real fight. We basically have a choice of either using our tongues or using our missiles, and that's no choice at all. We must use our tongues. We must learn how to communicate with each other and understand each other. It is an opportunity of Homeric proportions. It is literally in our hands. We can no longer say I can't reach you, because we can. We can no longer say we can't put all our knowledge and contradictions into one little box. We already have. But we have not bothered to take the time and the effort to sit down and talk to ourselves and each other in a serious manner about what is reality, what is God, and what is the realistic value system for humanity. We are so busy trying to manipulate and control each other through money, through looks, through anything we've got, and we've lost the very essence of what makes us human in the process. Most of the movies here at the Cannes Film Festival are about this. I believe although we no longer have prophets, we still have artists. And artists are sensitive to what's going on subconsciously in the world. They each make a different movie and it winds up being the same, which is very interesting. We are all talking about the losing of humanity to this mass media, the losing of spirituality to mass media. We are losing everything gradually that we in essence are, and we're not paying attention to the fact that we're losing it. And I hope that the Messiah Complex, and I hope that whoever sees this will join us and help us and contribute art, time, whatever it is that human resources that human beings have, to make this process come to life. Not only the movie, but also, as I said, the internet, and using communications to begin to communicate with each other and ourselves in a serious manner, and not just to sell cornflakes or make money. There is something beyond that, we hope. Thank you.